ISC TV is coming to you live from the Green Valley Sports Complex in Moline, Illinois. This is the 63rd Annual International Softball Congress Men's World Fastpitch Softball Championship, featuring the best 24 teams and the top players from around the planet battling for softball supremacy. The production team at ISC TV and our partners at sportsjuice.com and ballparkradio.com are ready to bring you all the action. So let's go down to the field. ISC TV is coming to you live from the Green Valley Sports Complex.
Welcome back to the Green Valley Sports Complex in beautiful Moline, Illinois. I'm Jim Flanagan here with my broadcast colleague Kyle Smith on ballparkradio.tv, pleased to bring you the championship game of the 2009 ISC World Tournament on Friday, Championship Friday, August 21st, 2009. It's all come down to this. A week ago, 24 teams came into this tournament. We are now down to the final two. On the field, the Kitchener River Shark Twins. It'll be Todd Martin once again in the circle. An interesting story behind that one. Sat and watched his teammates most of the week. Didn't throw his first inning until earlier this evening. Came on in relief. Then started the prior game, went 5 strong innings. He is the ace of this Kitchener River Shark Twins staff, and he'll get the ball once again. We're just about underway. Martin's pitch to leadoff hitter Freddie Turkelson. In for a called strike. This is the championship game of the 2009 ISC World Tournament from Moline, Illinois. We'll run through the lineups for you in just a minute. Meanwhile, a bunt's popped up down to first base. That's Blair Ezekiel down there once again for the out. 1 out in this championship game.
That'll bring up second baseman number 10, Reese Casely.
So Martin working quickly, and now he'll see Reese Casely. Casely, of course, one of the big reasons that his team is in this championship game. Broken Bow Patsies was trailing 1-0 late in the game against Kitchener in the winner's bracket final. It was Casely going deep with a 2-run homer. That was the difference in that ball game. Great power for a 2-hitter. In a sense, still one of the table setters for Rona and Jared Martin. Daniel Milne that follow, but certainly capable of going yard himself. Right now, the 1-0 pitch looks off the plate, 2-0. Paul Bear behind the plate for this championship game. Paul from Stratford, Ontario, Canada. One of the fine elite crew of umpires. Kyle Smith will tell you a little bit more about those a little bit later. 5, count them, 5 umpires on this championship game. We've had 3 throughout most of the games, but 5 on hand for this championship game, and Paul Beyer getting the honors in this 2009 title tilt. Next pitch missing upstairs. Martin asking where. So the count now 3-1 on Reese Casely. Casely, of course, a member of the New Zealand Black Sox, as are many of his Broken Bow Patsies teammates. That one in on the outside edge. Reese thought it was ball 4, but he'll come on back now with a 3-2 count. Reese Casely batting against Todd Martin, just underway. Happy to have you with us in this championship game. Martin set, rocks and fires. In for a called third strike, and Martin coming back on Casely. Strikeout number 1, out number 2 in this top half of the first inning.
Now batting number 15, third baseman Brad Rona.
Brad Rona coming to the plate now. Rona with great power. We've seen it already on display in this tournament. He is one of the most dangerous hitters in the ISC World Tournament. On your screen, you see Todd Martin was nursing the groin injury, wrapped, apparently not bothering him enough to keep him out of the lineup. We talked to a couple of the coaching staff of the River Shark Twins early in the day, and even though Martin had not seen any duty throughout the week, they said all decks on hand, all 4 pitchers available, and indeed Martin coming on in relief for the Broken Bow Patsies game. Starting the third place game against Aspen, pitching very well and getting his team and himself back into the championship game, someplace they found themselves last year down in Kimberly, Wisconsin. Rona, one hopper down to third. Over across the diamond, 5-3 on the putout. It's Jody Eit to Blair Ezekiel for the third out. 3 up and down quickly for Broken Bow Patsies in the first. No runs, no hits, and no errors. We've played a half inning. The score, Broken Bow Patsies, nothing. And the Kitchener River Shark Twins coming to bat. On your screen, you'll see Adam Folkert, the dominant pitcher in this 2009 tournament. 13 strikeouts of the 13 batters he faced his first outing. 18 strikeouts the other night. And coming right back in relief of Andrew Kirkpatrick to close out these River Shark Twins in the winner's bracket final. And right back on the hill, he is the pitcher of record in this one. I'm Jim Flanagan here with my broadcast colleague Kyle Smith. We've been with you for the past couple. We head down the stretch for this 2009 tournament. Very happy to be here. We've got the best seat in the house and happy to share it with you. Executive producer Dave Blackburn still behind the controls, giving you a great view of the action as we look in at Adam Folkert making his final warm-up tosses and getting ready to pitch to the top half of the Kitchener order. Back over to Kyle Smith for the action.
It'll be Ryan Wolf leading things off for the Kitchener River Shark Twins. Daniel Milne, Turkelson, and Tanner in the outfield. Rona and Shaw on the left side. Casely and Martin on the right. Stephen Ratu and Adam Folkert on the slab for the Bow Patsies. Defense just set to go. Folkert looks down, comes set, winds, works, drop ball, swung on and missed. And he starts right where he's left off. 37 putouts while Adam Folkart's been on the mound thus far. 34 of them put out by strikeout. Folkert winds, works, swung on and missed. Strike 2 on that drop ball. Under the lights, Folkert basically unhittable this week. As Adam winding, working, again just down and away. Ryan Wolf, the veteran leadoff hitter, looks, takes inside just below letters for 2 balls and 2 strikes. Just underway here in the bottom of the first. Folkert winds, works, choppered right underneath Reese Keasley's glove, and a leadoff single for Ryan Wolf.
Ryan Wolf singles to the right side.
And Steve Mullally
Now batting number 33, left fielder Steve.
now coming to the plate.
Mullally, as many of our viewers know, was injured in last year's World Tournament. Finished the tournament sitting, watching his teammates win. Still working through the effects of that injury during the 2009 campaign. Not quite having the kind of World Tournament that he had last year.
So Mullally in a little bit of a slump here tonight, trying to break out. Reached on a walk back against the Aspen Interiors. As Folkert comes set, turns the bunt, gets that one up in the air, and right to Brad Rona for the first out of the inning.
Mullally's bunt is caught by Brad Rona at third.
Ryan Wolf standing out at first. Jody Eit coming to the plate. Eit
22.
been around the block a time or two. And standing at the plate with a man on first base. as Adam Folkard looks down to the glove. Comes, set, winds, works. Outside corner called. Strike one. Motionless on the mound, now to the glove. Folkard comes, set, breaks the hands, kicks, fires on the corner, called strike two. We're glad you're with us here for the championship final of the 2009 ISC World Tournament. Kyle Smith and Jim Flanagan with you. Folkard winding, working, down and away. Ball one. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Adam mixing his spots, generally working away. Looks to go that way again as he comes, set, winds, delivers, rise ball, swung on and fouled out of play. So we'll do it all over again. Wolf was off on the pitch. Count stays 1 ball and 2 strikes. Slowing the pace here as Folkard stands on the mound. Now to the glove, head down, straight forward, rocks, deals. Here goes Wolf. Here comes the throw from Ratu in time. Dead on arrival, and Ryan Wolf has been punched out twice tonight. And a great throw by Ratu for the out. Strikeout, throw him out. And Todd Martin, that'll do it for the first inning. No runs, a hit, and no errors. After 1 complete, knotted up at 0.
I want to take a moment and thank one of our sponsors, Worth Sporting Goods, manufacturers of bats, balls, cleats, gloves, anything related to sporting goods, you name it, they make it. Worth, proud sponsor of the ISC World Tournament and ISC broadcast program, enabling us to bring you all of the action throughout the week here at the ISC World Tournament in Moline, Illinois. Worth Sporting Goods. So we've played 1 inning, we head to the 2nd inning now. Todd Martin on the hill for the Kitchener River Shark Twins. Jared Martin will be the first hitter for Broken Bow Patsies in the 2nd inning. They went 3 up and down quickly in the first. Martin, the veteran, senior member of the New Zealand Black Sox. Casely, Rona, and Martin, all members of that team. Silver medalists in Saskatoon this year at the ISF World Championships. He'll be followed by Daniel Milne and then Stephen Ratu. Martin now appears he may have re-injured that groin. He's down with his hands and knees, and not what Denny Bruckert and Larry Lynch, the manager and coach of this Kitchener team, wanted to see. We talked about it all week. He was sidelined with a groin. It looks like that may be his last pitch that he's thrown in this. He's coming off to a good, well-deserved round of applause, but not something that Kitchener wanted to see. He was nursing the groin all week long, didn't throw at all during the week, came in relief, pitched very effectively against the same Broken Bow Patsies team. I'm sure part of the reason he got the ball again against them. Threw a great game against Aspen, through 5 strong innings, only giving up 1 run. And got them into the 2nd inning, but it'll be Dean Holine, the big fellow from Moose Jaw, Saskatchewan, that'll come on in relief of Todd Martin. So a pitching change here We'll wait while Dean Holine takes his warm-up tosses. Kitchener started the day with 3 wins in the tournament. They lost in the winner's bracket championship or final game to Broken Bow. It has been Scott and Holine getting most of the work for the River Shark Twins. Grant Patterson just getting a few innings. We saw him late in that win over Aspen. So it'll be Holine in place of Martin. Martin sidelined again with a groin injury. You have to give him credit for what he went through, the patience that he showed, watching from the sidelines and still keeping himself prepared. Longtime veteran of the ISC World Tournament, pitching very well, but it'll be Holine. Again, coming up for Broken Bow Patsies, it'll be Jared Martin, Daniel Milne, and Stephen Ratu, the catcher. Frank DeGroat, if we get that far. Just underway in this championship game. Happy to have you with us right here on ballparkradio.tv. I'm Jim Flanagan, here with my broadcast colleague, Kyle Smith. As we watch while Dean Holine takes his final warm-up tosses, the rest of the infield for Kitchener trying to lend a bit of support. Holine, longtime member of Team Canada, dating back to the early 90s, has been through several tours at the ISFs. He is a veteran. He coincidentally was on the hill last year in the championship game for the Aspen Interior squad when they faced these River Shark Twins. So scratch Martin on your scorecard. Holine taking his final tosses now. I guess he'll get as many as he needs with the injury. Our cameraman panning the dugout briefly. You saw Martin. Disappointed, no doubt. Great view from the center field camera. You see the stocky build of Holine. Powerful shoulders, powerful legs. One of the hardest throwers in the game. Kyle, we had a look at him in Moncton as well as in this tournament. And Dino appeared to be in tip-top form.
Yeah, absolutely. Dean Holine coming into that game, coming into that tournament, coming into this tournament, Holine has shown that he can throw it by just about anybody. Rise ball is that go-to pitch, it seems.
Still betting Jared Martin with an 0-2 count.
Dean Holine, 40-year-old pitcher, coming up on 40 anyway. Martin with the wide open stance now, looks out at Holine. Pitch off the plate, good hard one from Dino. Turns the dial up another notch, 1-2 now, as he picks up the count in progress. No score in this one. Championship game just underway. Jody Ide about to step in front of the bag at third. Holine a little bit extra on that one. The right leg coming around in front. Missing, so the count now 2-2. Quiet calm almost with Martin leaving. Kitchener not sure how to respond to that, perhaps. Defensively, it's Ike, Miller, Joy, and Ezekiel around the infield. Mullally, Wolf, and Brad Ezekiel, the brother, out in right field. Paddy Shannon, the New Zealand catcher, behind the plate. Team Canada pitcher Dean Holine on the hill. Swing and a miss on a big rise ball. Great velocity on that pitch from Holine. So Martin down on strikes for the first out.
Now batting number 17, left fielder Daniel.
That'll bring up Daniel Milne, the left fielder for Broken Bow Patsies. Milne with a home run already in the tournament. That came against Vancouver the other night in early innings. Set the tone for what proved to be a runaway 7-0 win over the Gray Sox. He takes the ball inside off the plate for a ball. Kitchener from Ontario, Canada. Largely made up of Team Canada. Paddy Shannon, the catcher. Blake Miller the shortstop. The two notable exceptions, Miller, of course, from Team USA. Shannon, a member of the Black Sox, a teammate of many of these Broken Bow Patsies players, so no one knows them any better than Patty. Rise ball, little body English from Holine, wanted the call, looks in, says, where was it? Paul Byer says 2 balls and a strike. 1 out, second inning, no score. Milne from Christchurch, New Zealand, the host of the ISFs back in 04. Big high hopper. It'll be Miller. He'll have to hurry just in time on a good throw over to Ezekiel. Miller 6-3 on the putout. 2 up and down quickly in the second. That will bring up the catcher, Stephen Ratu.
Dean Holine coming in and not missing a beat in relief of Todd Martin, who has re-injured his groin, so been lifted in replace of. And Holine pumps that one in below the knees for ball 1.
Ratu with just a couple of hits in the game, but they rely on him primarily for his catching skills. Trying to get something going in the early part of this game. Bounces that one foul. In the winners bracket final, it was largely Kitchener dominating. They took a 1-0 lead into the 6th inning. It was only the 2-run homer from Casely that turned the tide in that one, changed the momentum, and proved to be the margin of victory. We look on your screen at Dean Holine from the third base camera. Jerry and Mike Betts, cameramen throughout this ISC World Tournament. Swing and a miss on a rise ball. Late on that one was Ratu.
Dino throwing very hard on the mound, putting all of his body into the pitch. As you can see, his legs kick after he lets go of the ball. So Dean very fired up for this championship final.
Swing and a miss on a rise ball, and Holine makes quick work of the potent offense of Broken Bow Patsies. Probably nobody on the field with more high-level experience than Dean Holine. His experience with Team Canada dating back to 1992. Played in the Pan American Games. He's had several tours of duty, 96, 2000, right on up through this year, 2009. Kyle, maybe we can talk about our umpires for this championship game. It's certainly an honor for all of the crew to be at this tournament, but the championship game more so than ever.
Well, a 5-man crew been assigned by the umpire-in-chief Bruce Bierman and the deputy umpire-in-chief Les Novak. Your umpires for the World Championship game: down the left field line, Mike Clark from Saginaw, Michigan. Over on the right field line, Gary Schmidt from Victoria, British Columbia, Canada. At third base, Roger Shane from Forest Lake, Minnesota. Over at first, Mr. Ed Otterman, hailing from Simcoe, Ontario, Canada. And working home plate, a newly minted level 5 last year from Canada, Stratford, Ontario, Canada. Mr. Paul Byer gets the nod tonight from the bosses.
We know from talking to the umpires throughout the week, just like the players do, they take great pride in being here at this tournament and in umpiring at the highest level for men's fastball.
Adam Folkard ready to roll here in the second inning. 1-2-3 went Kitchener in the first, and Pat Shannon at the plate. Adam Folkard winds, works, drop ball, big swing and a miss. Almost to one knee goes Shannon.
Shannon with a pair of home runs in this 2009 World Tournament. 15 homers over the past 6-7 years, so one of the biggest home run threats in the tournament.
We saw one back against the Aspen Interiors, lifting the River Shark Twins en route to a 7-1 victory. As that one comes inside, we'll check the swing. And yes, he went says Ed Otterman, first base umpire. Pat Shannon not in agreement. However, the count goes no balls and 2 strikes. In the bottom half of the second inning, in a 0-0 affair, Adam Folkard on the mound as Pat Shannon, with his open stance, waits. Folkard now to the belt, head down, kicks, deals, outside and down and away. A little English from Folkard as he wanted that one.
Brad Rona coming across the diamond to point, asking to make the appeal.
1-2 count as Folkard breaks the hands. Drop ball chopped down to Rona. He's up and over with it to Martin in time on the 5-3 putout.
So the Australian pitcher throwing to the New Zealand catcher. The ball hit down to the New Zealand third baseman, over to the New Zealand first baseman to retire the New Zealand player, Pat Shannon.
So Blair Ezekiel will come to the plate, the first baseman wearing number 21 with one man down here as Adam Folkard stands tall on the mound. Sets, breaks, delivers, drop ball just below the knees. Straight out in the outfield, in line with Folkard, maybe 2-3 steps shaded to right is Fred Turkelson. Adam Folkard slowly to the belt now, winds, works, and that rise ball jumps up out of the zone for the second ball. 2-0, the count to Blair Ezekiel. Brad Rona even at third. Jared Martin coming in a step ahead of the bag. Rona doing a jog as Folkard winds, works. That one fouled off at the plate.
Adam Folkard just 4 years out of the junior program where he pitched his Australian team to a gold medal in the junior. In just 4 short years has matured into arguably the best pitcher in the game right now, coming off a gold medal no-hitter in the championship game of the ISFs, and are right back here to dominate ISC World Tournament hitters.
Adam winds, works, drop ball just missing the strike zone. Ball 3-1 the count with one down in the home half of the second inning. Glad you're with us on ballparkradio.tv as time's called. Stephen Ratu taking a pause. Folkard now winding, working, drop ball, big swing and a miss. Takes the count to 3 balls and 2 strikes. Ratu and Reese Casely coming into the pitcher circle, going to have a quick discussion as to maybe how to pitch here on the 3-2 count to Ezekiel. Conversation over and back ready to go as Adam comes set at the waist, twists, turns, kicks, deals, just off the plate. So a 4-ball pass for Ezekiel.
Kyle, for viewers that may not have watched some of the prior telecasts, it is notable that on that 18 strikeout performance that he had the other night, also 6 walks to go with it, kind of an odd set of stats. So it is something that has created problems or potential for problems. He had no trouble the other night pitching through it. But the majority of the base runners against him reaching on the free pass.
Seems that when he gets a runner on, he just bears down ever much more. And now he works rise ball, first pitch swinging. Here comes Jared Martin and Stephen Ratu. And Ratu comes up with the catch. So retire Holine on the fly out to the catcher. Holine not wasting any time hacking away at that first one.
As you watch Folkard on your screen, a very distinctive style of pitcher, the head down Throws above 80 miles an hour. Has to be a very intimidating presence out there. He's not even looking at the hitter, or so it appears sometimes. There it is, the head down.
Looks straight down as he comes forward. That drop ball on the corner for strike one. Denny Bruckert comes down and now sharing some words with Brad Rona, the third baseman. The intensity definitely picking up here. Working every angle are the coaches as Folkard comes set, drops that one in for strike two. 0-2 the count here to Brad Ezekiel. Brother Blair stands out at first base. 2 down as Folkard breaks the hands, comes rising out and to the screen with the wild pitch. So advance Ezekiel up 60 feet to second. Brad Ezekiel just coming off a big win at the Junior Men's Canadian Championships, getting a gold medal for himself. Brother Kyle on the roster as well. Folkard looks into Ratu for the signal. Now he gets what he wants. Head down. Rocks, deals, drop ball. We'll check the swing. Eddie Otterman says no, he did not go. And the count goes 2-2 with 2 down here in the second. Folkard coming, grinding, swung on and missed on the drop ball. And that's the third out of the inning. No runs, no hits, but leave a man. And after 2 complete, the score, Kitchener River Shark Twins 0, Broken Bow Patsies no score.
So through 2 innings, just 2 strikeouts. I say just 2. He's been averaging 2+ in his prior outings, but so far shutout for Adam Folkard. Likewise on the other side of the ledger. We'll head to the top of the third inning. We'll see the 7, 8, 9 hitters for Broken Bow Patsies. It'll be Frank DeGroat, the designated player, Michael Tanner, the right fielder, and shortstop Kerry Shaw. DeGroat still struggling a bit at the plate. The catcher for Team USA has come up big in some prior world tournaments. Just a couple of hits so far in this one, but certainly capable of being a difference maker. He'll get his first look at Dean Holine. These 2 players squared off in the ISFs not long ago. DeGroat for USA, the 4th place finisher. Holine for Team Canada, the bronze medalist, Australia getting gold, and 3-time champion, former champion, New Zealand getting silver. Holine misses upstairs with a little off-speed rise ball. A couple of hard throwers in this one. Holine coming on in place of Todd Martin. DeGroat, the native of New Jersey, same neck of the woods as Louis Joglar. A couple of players coming out of the modified Fastpitch program. And Frank DeGroat very quickly became one of the premier players in the U.S. program. Ball inside, 2-1 now on DeGroat. Most valuable player at one of the AAU international tournaments. A couple of home runs in the championship game this past year. Looks out at Holine. Swing and a miss on a rise ball. Late on that one. Holine turning up the dial. Power pitchers on the plate for both teams. Ait now back, maybe a step in front of the bag at third, giving DeGroat plenty of room. Frank looks off a rise ball out of the zone, so the count 3-2. It'll be a hitter's pitch here. On the corners, Jody Eit, Blair Ezekiel. Up the middle, Blake Miller, and Daryl Joy. It is Holine pitching to Patty Shannon. 3-2 pitch. Grounded foul up along the third base side. Kitchener in their red tops, white pants. Broken Bow, their black tops, very reminiscent of the New Zealand Black Sox. They certainly have a fair number of them on their roster. Third inning action, no score. Kitchener, River Shark Twins, and the Broken Bow Patsies. ISC World Tournament Final 2009. Holine running through the signs, now takes a bit too long. And Paul Byer, our home plate umpire, calls time. Frank DeGroat in and back to settle into the batter's box, hands up high. Fouled up on the screen on the right side, so DeGroat hacking away, getting a little bit of it here and there. The count's still full. DeGroat trying to get something in his wheelhouse, something where he can extend those long arms. Powerfully built catcher for Team USA. Now with Broken Bow Patsies in this tournament. Swing and a miss. Great location by Holine. Patty Shannon setting up inside. Ties up DeGroat. He's down on strikes. Out number one. Strikeout number 2 for Holine. 3 for Kitchener in the game.
Dean Holine really mixing up his pitches and going right after him. You can hear the grunt from Holine once he releases the pitch. So he is right into this game.
Well, here's Michael Tanner. His father emailed us last night telling us that he was looking on from down under. Send those emails to us live at ballparkradio.tv. Tanner looks out at Holine, swing and a miss again on the inside part of the plate. Holine pounding the inside edge of the strike zone. Just underway in this championship game, third inning action, no score. Winner take all. Winner takes the Carol Forbes Memorial Trophy. Swing and a miss on a rise ball. That one right down the heart of Main Street. Tanner unable to catch up with it. Inside rise ball again, just fought off by Tanner, trying to stay alive. Holine got a healthy portion of warm-up tosses coming on for the injured Martin. Appeared to be ready right from the get-go. Throwing as hard as we have seen him throughout this tournament, and that's saying something for Dino. Set at the waist. Inside rise ball. Good morning, good afternoon, and good night. Strikeout number 2 in the inning. Number 3 for Holine. Bringing up 4. Bringing up Kerry Shaw, the shortstop for Broken Bow Patsies.
The louder the grunt, the harder the pitch. Dino throwing everything he has, not leaving anything for chance.
Holine set at the waist. Right down the heart of Main Street with that one. Shaw looking on. Height in maybe 2 or 3 steps from third. For Kerry Shaw, the 9-hitter. Freddie Turkelson from Denmark waiting on deck. So far it's been all Holine this inning. 2 strikeouts. Dominating rise ball, pounding it in on the inside part of the plate. See if we can hear from the home plate umpire yelling something up at the press box.
They would ask the announcer to announce that they no flash photography. As there's been a lot of light bulbs popping down there on every pitch almost.
The truth of the matter is usually the flash doesn't help much late in the evening, but the fans wanting to preserve a memory of this Historic 2009 game, Kitchener and Broken Bow Patsies.
The only danger is that once that flash goes off, possibly in the pitcher or somebody's eyes, and with the technology of the bats these days, the pitcher needs every opportunity to make a play.
So 1-2 count now on Kerry Shaw, the 9-hitter. 2 out in the inning, nobody aboard. Way inside with that one, getting Shaw off the plate. Shaw with a couple of hits in the game, or in the tournament. Turkelson likewise. These are a couple of the fellows that need to get on in front of the big boppers if Broken Bow is going to score any runs. Able to score just 2 in their first matchup. That was a home run from Casely. Shaw fouls that one off the screen over on the left side to stay alive. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out in the inning. Miller and Joy up the middle for Kitchener straight away. Ezekiel and Eit on the corners. Holine with a 44-foot drop ball bounces that one in the dirt, so the count runs to full. No score in this championship game. Holine right now on in relief of Martin. Adam Folkert on the plate for Broken Bow Patsies. Good view from our cameraman right there from that home plate camera. Number 40, you see Kerry Shaw looking out at Holine. You get an idea what it feels like to stand at that plate in this big game. Inside, just a piece of it. Fouled off, so he'll stay right there at 3 balls and 2 strikes. On deck, Fred Turkelson, if we get that far.
Patty Shannon getting crossed up on that pitch as he went outside. Pitch comes inside. Just able to get a glove on it. One thing we noticed this week is that in the lights, with the shadows around home plate, some of the pitchers having a hard time seeing what the catchers are calling. So we'll have to keep our eye on that as this game works through the innings.
And about half as much trouble as some of the hitters have had picking up the ball at that spot, especially when they're throwing 80-plus like Holine. Down in the dirt, and Kerry Shaw works a walk. Good at-bat for the 9-hitter.
First base runner for Broken Bow Patsies. Kerry Shaw getting a 4-ball pass.
So Kerry Shaw aboard, the 9-hitter. That'll flip us back to the top of the shop to Freddie Turkelson. Reese Casely waiting on deck. 2 out in the inning. No score in the game thus far. Doc Simmons down in the third base coach's box running through the signs. Turkelson holds up on a ball down outside. It's Holine working to Shannon. Shannon you'll see on the screen from time to time moving around a lot behind the plate. Not always a good tip where the ball is going to be. Very experienced backstop. Very adept at setting up in one location and calling for a pitch somewhere else and still catching it. Hitter's trying to take a visual cue from where he is setting up. Not always a good idea. There he is outside. The pitch is outside on the edge of the plate for a called strike. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Fred Turkelson. Turkelson, one of the first players to rise to this level coming out of the European circuit. Starting to see more of those. Great Britain with a great run at this year's ISF. Little two-hopper out to second base. Daryl Joy will make quick work of it over to Blair Ezekiel for the putout. For Broken Bow Patsies in the third. No runs, no hits, a man left. We've played 2.5 innings. The score, there is none.
So as we head to the bottom half of the third inning, Adam Folkert will come out to the mound. And Daniel Wright from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, wants to know if Dean Holine would be able to keep this speed up. And, I mean, obviously as the innings progress, you will lose velocity, but I think a lot of adrenaline probably pumping right through Dino's veins, so maybe a little extra get up tonight, but absolutely, you will lose velocity through 7 innings, but Dino pretty pumped here.
And we saw him the other night through 4+, very, very hard, very strong, got into trouble when gave up 4 runs for the tie. They eventually went on to win the game, but it was Donnie Scott coming on in relief, so they still have Scott in reserve, and of course Grant Patterson, who we got to look at, looked very sharp in his brief relief appearance in the prior game. So there is no tomorrow. There's no holding back, no need to on any of the players, but certainly Holine is going to leave it all out there in the circle. No doubt about that.
So Daryl Joy will start things off, the second baseman, former Aspen Interiors player. As Adam Folkard looks to the glove, now sets, fires, drop ball, just missing for ball 1.
We were chatting with Holine in one of the post-game interviews, and we asked him about the physical, and he said that's a given. What he focused on more was the mental approach, and talked a bit about the disappointment of Canada not winning the gold medal in Saskatoon, and seemed to be focused on how he and the other members of Team Canada would respond, and respond they have, getting themselves into this championship game.
That rise ball on top. 2-0 the count. Adam Folkard, glove on hip, now to the side. Now in front as he rocks, deals. Drop ball, just missing. 3-0 the count. 3 straight pitches, 3 straight balls here to Daryl Joy to start off the bottom half of the 3rd inning. We are glad you are joining us here on Saturday night. Folkard winds, works, called strike at the knees. Takes the count to 3 balls and 1 strike. Jim Flanagan and myself, Kyle Smith, on hand to bring you all the sights and sounds of the championship final. Folkard winds, deals, drop ball, big swing from Joy just over top. And we'll run the count to 3 balls and 2 strikes. Joy coming into this one, hitting 300 as Folkard winds, delivers, drop ball, chopped up through just underneath Reese Casely's glove, and a leadoff single for Daryl Joy will get this engine going for the River Shark Twins. And we'll bring to the plate Blake Miller. Miller having a rough go of things. Only 1 for 11 this ISC. Struggling to find his groove at the plate this year, but always a threat to put the ball in play. A leadoff hitter in the 9 spot for Denny Ruckert and Larry Lynch, 2 Hall of Fame coaches. Adam Folkard slowly comes set. Corners come in, popped up bunt. That will find the seats down to our left.
So Hall of Fame manager Denny Bruckert down at third base in the coach's box, playing things textbook style, calls for the bunt, trying to move that runner over into scoring position in this scoreless game here in the 3rd.
Corners expecting it. Rona Martin drawing in. Folkard comes set, turns to bunt Miller. He'll get it down right to Rona. Rona will go the short way to second. Right on top of the play, going to Kerry Shaw, retiring Daryl Joy on the 5-6 putout for the first out of the inning, and a fielder's choice for Blake Miller. Trying to sacrifice himself, just a little too much on it. Couldn't get it to drop down as Brad Rona and Jared Martin right on top of Miller when he turned. So easy play to second.
Good defense by Rona. Rona, of course, known for the bat more often than not, but some great footwork always down there on the third base bag. Always on the move is Brad Rona. We'll see that from time to time on your screen. Always up on his toes before the pitch, moving around.
Folkard sets, fires inside, missing for ball 1 to the leadoff hitter Ryan Wolf in the number 1 spot. 1 down and a man on first as we play here in the bottom of the 3rd. And Adam Folkard winds, delivers, drop ball, swung over top of for strike one. 1-1 the count. It's interesting, Adam Folkard down and working. That rise ball just got a piece of to foul it off. Like Jim said earlier, that the ball, as Adam comes set, he doesn't look at the hitter. Just as he releases that ball, his head pops up. So almost going blind through the motion, but it has come to work effectively here for Folkard. ISF gold medalist trying to add ISC world champion to the bio.
From up here in the second floor press box, we are largely looking at the top of his cap very often just before the release of the pitch. There it is. You see it?
Sets, fires, swung on and missed. Strike three. And down on strikes goes Ryan Wolf for the second out of the inning. And the third strikeout for Folkard. So coming to the plate will be Steve Mullally, who back in the first inning flew out to the third baseman. Mullally batting $167 coming into this game with only 9 at-bats to show. Of course, joining the team on Wednesday as Folkard winds, works, drop ball, missing for ball one. Ryan Wolf over at first base. Blake Miller, reaching on a fielder's choice. You can almost make a statue as Folkard stands permanently still as he winds, works, rise ball missing. No movement out of Folkard when he's standing there going through the signals. Just like he freezes in time, then all of a sudden everything starts to come together for number 13. 2 balls and no strikes to count with a man on first as Folkard winds, works. Big swing and a miss from Mullally as he almost comes out of his shoes.
Some great camera work again by the Betts boys and our executive producer, Dave Blackburn. You could see Folkard just lifting off the pitching plate way out of that circle.
Adam Folkard continues to work here with a 2-1 count. Rocks, deals, rise ball, missing, ball 3.
Brad Rona over at third base, always on the move. Kerry Shaw going over to cover on that play at second base. Nobody moving, though.
My mistake goes for strike 2. 2-2 the count. As Folkard sets, winds, works, swung on and missed, strike 3. And that'll do it for Steve Mullally as he goes back and continues to struggle at the plate. And after 3 complete, the score remains Kitchener River Sharks Twins 0. Broken Bow Patsies 0. Want to take an opportunity and thank one of our great sponsors, Justin's, the proud ring supplier to the International Softball Congress. For more information, you can go to www.jostins.com or give them a call at 1-800-854-7464. Jostins, ISC, hand and glove.
Also want to say thank you to Tough Toe, another one of the ISC tournament sponsors. We got a couple of emails asking just what is Tough Toe, and it is a protectorant that goes on the outside of the shoe, primarily for pitchers, but also for some other sports. A lot of the pitchers drag their toe across the dirt and then will wear out a pair of shoes very quickly. Over the past 35 years, Tough Toe has developed the longest-lasting toe protectant on the market. They started out back in Long Beach, California, my hometown. Now in Anaheim, California, in the shadow of Anaheim Stadium. Your cleats are their business. Tough Toe, thanks for your support of the ISC broadcast program. So with no score already in the fourth inning, this game moving along at a good clip as we expected it would with these pitchers on the hill. Reese Casely batting in the 2 spot. A home run in the prior game against Kitchener. He was the difference, coming up with a 2-run homer in the 6th inning. Good power out of the 2-hole. Reese from New Zealand now living up stateside, bangs one up the middle. And just like that, Casely aboard to lead things off in the 4th inning. Reese having himself quite a tournament, 6 or 7 hits thus far. And just a handful of at-bats that he's had. That'll bring up the dangerous Brad Rona. Casely, Rona, Martin, and Milne, all from the New Zealand Black Sox team in the 2, 3, 4, and 5 spots in the batting order. It's Rona stepping in from the right side. An open stance, not quite as pronounced as Patty Shannon, but open nonetheless. Whole lines pitch. Rise ball upstairs. Some of the other pitchers that we've seen against Rona have tried to keep the ball in or way away. Make a mistake, he'll make you pay for it. Casely looking across the diamond at Doc Simmons. Gets a good jump off the bag. Rise ball in for a called strike. Nice location. Shannon setting up outside. Jody Ite sneaking a peek over at Doc Simmons in a couple, 3 steps. A scoreless game. The question whether they'll give up Rona does not appear so far. Takes that one down the heart of Main Street for a called strike. So 1 ball, 2 strikes. Whole line ahead against Rona. Whole line looks in. The long look for the sign to Shannon. Now set. Swing and a miss. Good location again. Rona down on strikes. Dean Holine notching another strikeout. Number 5 in the game for Holine. Add 1 more that Martin had, 6 in the game for Kitchener. And that'll bring the captain to the plate, Jared Martin. Likewise the open stance. Cousin of Brad Rona and senior member of the Black Sox team. Jared nursing an injury. Casely with a bit of a sore knee over at first base. Martin with the groin injury. They have been running for him whenever they get the chance. That one right down the outside part of the plate, taken for a called strike. 0-2 now on Jared Martin. Doc Simmons trying to find a way to get Casely down to second base, get him in scoring position. Reese normally runs pretty well, but he's been nursing a sore knee off and on throughout the season. Still managing to stay in the starting lineup. Casely looking on from the other side. That one foul out of play on the right. 4th inning action, no score in this ISC World Tournament Championship game 2009. I'm Jim Flanagan here with Kyle Smith on ballparkradio.tv. Whole line ahead now, 0-2 against Martin. 1 out in the inning, 1 man aboard. It's Casely at first. Rise ball up out of the zone. Doc Simmons still running through the signs over from the third base coaching box. Ite now back maybe a step in front of the bag at third. Martin with the open stance. Swing and a miss. And Martin down on strike. Whole line. A pair of strikeouts burying the ball under the hands of the right-handers. Not much you can do with a pitch like that. Dino working effectively into the 4th inning. That'll bring Daniel Milne to the plate. Milne slightly built, but good power. Generates good bat speed through the zone. Takes that one upstairs for a ball. Casely started off with a base hit to lead things off in the inning. Rona and Martin strikeout victims. Casely still stuck at first base. We'll keep an eye on him, but as we said, a sore knee. Don't expect to see him running. He's getting a good jump, but not going. 2 balls, no strikes on Daniel Milne. Stephen Ratu on deck if we get that far. Holine taking his time, working deliberately. Every pitch counts in this championship game. Strike down the heart of Main Street. 2 balls and a strike, 2 out. 1 runner aboard in the inning. Holine putting everything into each pitch. Here's the 2-1. Bounced high to Ait. It'll be a 1-hopper. He'll make easy work of it over to Ezekiel. 5-3 on your scorecard if you're keeping it with us at home. So for Broken Bow Patsies, they get a hit, no runs, and 1 man left at the end of 3.5 innings of play. It's 0-0.
Jim, this question comes for you, care of live at ballparkradio.tv. A viewer wants to know what your opinion is about the replant that is allowed by the pitchers in the ISC versus towing up like the ISF. And the viewer would like to know, do you ever foresee a rule change that requires pitchers to stay in contact throughout the delivery? Only caveat to this question is the ISC does not allow a replant. So maybe we're talking about towing up 2 feet on the rubber. So why don't you go from there, because you are not allowed to replant in the ISC.
Well, speaking for myself, Kyle, I have size 14s, so it's pretty hard to get near the pitching plate and not have them in contact with the rubber. But all kidding aside, it's the age-old question, do you require the 2 feet? Do you allow the replant? And I think the ISC rule strikes a good compromise in the middle. For those viewers that may not be familiar with it, the ISF follows a 2-foot rule, a little more strict than the ISC rule.
A whole lot more strict.
But the ISC rule still not permitting the replant that he's asking about. If you look at the screen from time to time, you'll see Fokkard. A lot of the pitchers in this tournament, because it is an ISF World Championship year, have stayed with the 2 feet. I think it's just a matter of comfort. They've been doing it all summer long, preparing for that tournament. They don't want to change things. We'll see if we can't get the camera to give you a close-up of that. Fokkard's a good example. Both feet right there on the plate, and then the big hop off, but not replanting. Very legal for this tournament.
Well, I was talking to Les Novak, actually, when the question came in, and we were talking, and it's not classified a replant should the toe hit, but if the foot lands flat, then you have the reason for the replant. As Adam Fokkard works, 1 ball, no strike pitch, rise ball, swung on and missed, strike 1. The ISC pitching rule, contrasting to the ISF is 2 feet, push and drag. You cannot have any clearance with your foot and the air, whereas now you can see that Adam Fokkard has got definite clearance, as that pitch whiffed and missed by Jody Ait. So in the ISF this summer, it was you had to make dirt fly with your toe, or you were in violation of their pitching rule, whereas here, it's 1 foot on the mound, and go ahead, just do not put that foot down before you throw. And now we'll check the swing, and yes, he went, says third base umpire Roger Shane. So the 5th strikeout on the night for Adam Fokkard.
Well, putting the rule aside and just looking at Fokkard work, that home plate camera gives you an idea what the hitter sees, and very often it looks like Fokkard just throwing his whole body at him, and then here comes that ball at 80-plus miles an hour. Very difficult task for the hitter.
So Patty Shannon now coming to the plate, as Adam Fokkard continues to roll here. Drop ball just off the inside corner for ball 1. Glad you're with us on a cool Friday night here in Moline, Illinois, as Fokkard to the glove. Now in front as he winds, works, rise ball, big swing and a miss from Patty Shannon, as He had one thing on his mind there, and that was to put it out in center field, but coming up empty. Runs the count to 1 ball and 1 strike, with 1 down here in the bottom of the 4th. Breaks the hands, delivers down and away, ball 2, 2-1 the count. Folkard, the only knock on him this week would be the amount of base on balls that he has issued. 9 of them in 12 1/3 innings pitched.
6 of those coming the other night in the 18 strikeout performance, but barely a footnote the way he dominated the hitters.
That one chopped out over to Reese Casely as he's up and over with it, and Adam Folkard went down, so catcher Stephen Ratu will make a check on him. Retired Pat Shannon, 4-3 in your scorecard for the second out of the inning. Folkard looks no worse for wear, just going to smooth out the landing area for the big right-hander.
Stephen Ratu was Johnny on the spot, obviously concerned to see Folkard go down. Martin left the game with an injury at the start of this one for Kitchener, and Folkard a huge part of the success that Broken Bow Patsies has had in the tournament, wanting to make sure he's okay. He appears to be.
No worse for wear and ready to go as he comes set, winds, kicks, delivers, rise balls, swung on and missed. Been saying that a lot lately and tonight, especially when Adam Folkard's on the mound. 2 down now is Blair Ezekiel at the plate. That drop ball just misses, goes for ball 1. Like a statue out there, now he comes to life as he goes to the glove. Sets, fires, off speed and out of the strike zone for ball 2. 2-1 the count. Home plate umpire Paul Byer from Stratford, Ontario, Canada. Just up the road from my hometown of Hickson. Folkard comes set, winds, delivers inside and catches the lead knee of Ezekiel. And he's down in a heap. So the training staff coming out to attend to Blair.
On your screen you see manager Denny Bruckert coming down, Larry Lynch from first base, the ISC Hall of Fame duo. Denny Bruckert going in last year, Larry Lynch the year before. Right now the concern is for the player down, hit by the pitch or almost.
Being helped up by the training staff of the River Shark Twins and walking on his own power. Also Bob Nidick stands out on the diamond. Walking on his own power, putting a lot of weight. Doesn't appear to be much of a limp from young Blair Ezekiel. So the trainer still attending to Ezekiel out at first base. Now we're ready to go as he looks no worse for wear, standing over at first.
That'll bring up number 72, pitcher Dean.
Ed Otterman just double-checking, making sure. An interesting story. I was talking to Ed Otterman earlier today after he found out he was working this final game, and he said that Paul Byer and his career have come full circle as Adam Folkard goes to the glove. Comes set, winds, drop ball, called strike 1. It has come full circle because back in Canada, Paul and Ed both worked their first junior men's together. Paul worked first base and Ed worked home in the winner-winner game. And then many times working a championship game as Folkard misses up in the strike zone for ball 1, 1-1 the count. A real treat for Paul Byer and Ed Otterman working together here at first and home, both from Ontario, Canada. Folkard winds, works, rise ball, big swing and a miss. from hole line as the count runs 1 ball and 2 strikes. Full card sets, fires. That one chopped out into right field. It'll fall in. Ezekiel on his horse getting into third, standing up. And with runners on the corners and 2 down, Dean Holine gets a 2-out single. And Kitchener's in business right now with Brad Ezekiel coming to the plate.
The batter is number 19, right fielder Brad Ezekiel.
So a quick conversation at the mound as all the infielders involved with 2 down. Conversation over. Paul Byer going to break it up, and now Phil Rogers will go out towards the plate. So quick conversation as Rogers leaves the playing field. 2009 ISC World Tournament Championship game featuring the Kitchener River Shark Twins from Kitchener, Ontario, taking on the Broken Bow Patsies from Broken Bow, Nebraska. Kyle Smith and Jim Flanagan along with you, alongside our executive producer David Blackburn, his assistant Roseanne Allen, and Jerry and Mike Betts out on the cameras in left and center field. That one fouled just past Bruckert out at third base.
Well, a key spot for Adam Falkert as well as Dean Holine is pitching. This is the kind of game that could come down to that 1 run. And as dominant as he has been on the mound, Blue Pit, the ball in the gap, sends the momentum Kitchener's way.
Folkard winds, works, swung on and missed on a rise ball, takes the count to no balls and 2 strikes. Under the lights here in Moline, Illinois at 20-12 as we approach the midnight hour. Runners on the corners as Adam Folkard comes set, winds, delivers, drop ball chopped out to Kerry Shaw. That'll find a hole and bounce around on him, and in to score will be Blair Ezekiel. And the crowd erupts into a frenzy. Score that as an error.
Ezekiel is safe at first. Holine advances.
And 60 feet goes Dean Holine as Denny Bruckert comes down to talk to home plate umpire Paul Byer, I'm sure, with a change.
Well, credit Holine, too, for extending the inning, giving Ezekiel another chance at the plate, but it's the error that has put Kitchener on top. They were the losers in the first matchup of these two teams. They led 1-0 going into the 6th inning of that game before the Casely home run. They once again have a 1-0 lead here in the 4th. Looks like Dan Loney coming on to run at second base, so Holine, after reaching on a single, advancing on that error, will give way to the pinch runner, Dan Loney.
Number 9, Dan Loney running out at second base as Darryl Joy stands waiting to come into the batter's box. Runners on first and second with 2 down here in the bottom half of the 4th inning. It's Championship Friday as Joy will call time and step out.
A tough chance for Kerry Shaw. Looked like just got caught in between hops on that one. Not an easy play. But right now the difference in the game.
Folkard winds, works, rise ball well up and out of the zone for ball 1.
Reese Casely bird-dogging Dan Loney a bit to keep him close to that bag, not wanting to give him any kind of an edge getting off the base.
Full card, comes, set, kicks, deals, drop ball. Called strike one. Milne, Turkelson, Tanner, left to right in the outfield. Shaded over towards right field. As now time's called again. Pitcher and catcher unable to quickly get on the same page. Brad Rona at third, Kerry Shaw at short, Reese Casely at second, and Jared Martin over at first base. Adam Folkard comes, set, kicks, fires just off the plate inside to take the count to 2 balls and 1 strike. Darryl Joy with a slight open stance towards third. Folkard winds, works, rise ball, swung on and missed. Takes the count to 2-2, 2 down. Dan Loney, the pinch runner, out at second base. Brad Ezekiel standing over at first. 1-0 in favor of the Kitchener River Shark Twins. Hands held high above the head on Joy. Folkard winds, works, rise ball, swung on and missed, strike 3. And that'll do it, but not before they score a big run. Blair Ezekiel gets hit by a pitch, comes around to score. Whole line with the single, and Brad Ezekiel reaching on the air. Score stands after 4 complete. Kitchener River Shark Twins 1. Broken Bow Patsies, no score.
The strikeout of Joy, number 6 in the game for Folkard, but the hit batter and the error accounting for the run. We talked about the free passes creating the potential for problems. In a game like this right now, it's the difference. You know, Kerry Shaw would like to get to the plate and redeem himself. Anytime that happens, he'll be the 4th hitter in the inning if we get that far. It'll be Stephen Raytu, Frank DeGroat, Michael Tanner, and then Shaw in the 9 spot. Ratu, a strikeout victim in his first trip to the plate, as were Frank DeGroat and Michael Tanner. So Dean Holine dominating the hitters for Broken Bow Patsies thus far in the game. We head now to the 5th, passing the halfway mark. And Broken Bow Patsies having to think about how to get a runner into scoring position to try and get even. On your screen, you see the familiar ballpark radio banner out on the trailer in right center field. The provider of coverage for audio and video at this 2009 tournament. Holine in for a called strike, 0-1. 6, 7, 8 in the batting order for Broken Bow Patsies. They're on the short end of a 1-0 score right now in the 5th. It's Holine. Upstairs with a rise ball, that one out of the zone. Jody Eit, 3-time ISC Most Valuable Player down at third base. Blair Ezekiel over on the other corner. He reached on the error that accounted for the run. That one's a high fly to shallow center field. It'll be Ryan Wolf coming over to camp under it for out number 1. Raytu retired. Out number 1 in the 5th inning.
Just couldn't square that up in time, and a shallow fly ball, and quickly Ryan Wolf settles under it and makes the grab.
Well, Holine definitely has all of the velocity tonight. He is in top form and has succeeded thus far in keeping the ball in the hands of many of the Broken Bow Patsies hitters. Here is Frank DeGroat. DeGroat, as we said, a strikeout victim in his first trip to the plate. He has been the catcher for the USA softball program for some time, capable of tying the game with one swing of the bat. Holine again pounding it inside, in for a called strike. Big Frank stands at 6'3", a number of ISC World Tournaments under his belt. Posted a 400-plus average in one of those. Not so in 2009. But one stroke of the bat could turn things around for Frank. Laced down the left field line into the corner. It's DeGroat around first. A big turn. And Frank is aboard with a base hit. Frank finally getting his hands out in front of one. Got those big arms extended. And he is aboard with the potential tying run. That'll bring Michael Tanner to the plate. Now Frank will give way to a pinch runner. We'll wait for the announcement. Frank not catching in the game. He is the designated player, but he'll give way to some speed. Looks like our tongue twister, Tony Valladolid. Help me, Kyle.
Valladolid.
Thank you.
Number 18, Tony Valladolid.
I'll call him Tony. Tony coming on to run for Frank DeGroat. Tanner, good speed at the plate. Left-hander squares off with whole line. Shannon sets up. Way inside. Did it get him? Yes, it did. So the hit batter that got Adam Folkert in trouble in the earlier frame. Now Tanner hit by a pitch by Dean Holine. And the stage set perhaps for Kerry Shaw to redeem himself.
Well, Kerry Shaw comes up and has to just stay focused and stay calm out there. Don't go jumping out at anything that comes in up and away, as the rise ball really exploding here tonight for Dean Holine.
So Kerry Shaw from local Missouri. It looks like he will step in from the left side. Good plate coverage from Shaw. He'll give up part of the bat, just trying to make contact. Swing and a miss on that one. Holine, when he hit Tanner, he had been coming inside on a lot of the hitters all night long. Just came in a bit too close on Tanner. First and second now. One out in the inning. Kerry Shaw at the plate. Fred Turkelson waiting on deck. The pitch. Right on the outside edge. Nice location away from the left-hander Shaw. He will spray the ball, though, so if he gets another, perhaps looking to go the other way with it. Jody Eit to step off the line. Miller at short, straight away. The pitch. Bounced high to Miller. He'll go across the diamond, 6-3 on the putout. They're going to argue interference, I think. Miller pointing over at our third base umpire as if to say interference on the runner going past him. Trying to say that he had a force out at third, could have turned a double play. Now Denny Bruckert's on the field. I think that is what the conversation's about. In the book, it's Kerry Shaw being retired on a 6-3 putout. That is the second out. The runners advancing, so now at second and third. Potential tying run at third base, go-ahead run or potential at second in the form of speedy Michael Tanner. Kyle, an umpire's view?
Well, it's tough to say from up here because I didn't see any contact, and Blake Miller's still adamant about being interfered with.
Well, the runner passed him very close. I think he was focused on the ball, but I'm sure the argument is about a potential interference call, but it looks like that will not be it. Miller turns to his outfield, puts up two fingers, and looks like he's ready to go back to work.
The thing that stands out to me is that there really didn't appear to be anything. The runner was gone before Miller made the play, and it's tough to say from up here. So you get the out, you take two out, and you go to work here on Turkelson.
Pitch to Turkelson. That one's off the plate. Gets to the backstop. Dino coming to cover. Shannon faking a throw back to second with Tanner out there. Could have been troubled, although we've talked about it. Not a whole lot of real estate behind the dish, between the dish and the backstop. But if a ball hits and skips, goes sideways, in comes the runner from third, and we'd have a tie ball game. So 2 out in the inning, 2 men aboard. 1-0 Kitchener in the 5th. A key spot for Broken Bow Patsies, and likewise for the Kitchener River Shark Twins in this 2009 championship game. The 1-0 pitch. Inside, almost, yes he did, got Turkelson. So 2 hit batters in the inning. It was Tanner with Holine coming inside that got clipped. And again, the left-hander Turkelson taking one off the hands. And just like that, Broken Bow Patsy's now loading the bases.
Dino just coming a little too far in on that one and catching Freddie Turkelson.
I guess in a sense, no worse for wear. It was second and third, now bases loaded. So long as he throws strikes, he'll give his defense an out anywhere they look. Only problem, Reese Casely at the plate. Turkelson just a few hits in the tournament. Casely having a much better tournament, one of the leading hitters for this squad with Brad Rona on deck. So Holine will have to focus on Casely. He'll have to pitch carefully. Bases loaded, 2 out, 1-0 Kitchener. Good rise ball on the outside part of the plate. That one away from the left-hander Casely. Reese likes the ball in his wheelhouse, likes to get the ball center in. You see Casely at the plate. Ball off outside, taken for a ball. Casely putting a hand up to tell his runner down at third, stay right there. Bases loaded, Broken Bow Patsies. 5th inning, Reese Casely with the 2-run homer that beat Kitchener in their prior matchup just a few hours ago. A chance to put his team on top. Swing and a miss late on the rise ball. So Holine, after pounding inside all through the inning, now working Casely away. Obviously can't afford to come inside and risk another hit batter. He has 2 in the inning. Trying to pitch out of trouble. You see him taking a deep breath, letting the air out. Now set. 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss on a big rise ball. And Dean Holine hustling off the field. Very happy with that result. Gets Reese Casely on strikes. A big spot for Kitchener. And Broken Bow's opportunity lost as they leave the bases stranded in the 5th inning.
Well, and the emotion that Dean Holine showed coming off the diamond, you can tell what this game means to him, throwing everything that he has into this one game in the pitcher circle. It's Dean's game tonight, and boy, oh boy, he is on his game with just everything working. That rise ball just jumping on Reese Casely as he had a big swing and a miss.
You have to think, too, about the mental preparation coming into the game in the manner he did. Todd Martin got the ball, had pitched very well in the prior game. And Holine, I'm sure, in the 2nd inning wasn't thinking a whole lot about coming in that spot. Martin injured himself. Next thing you know, Dino's on the hill. But obviously well prepared, ready and raring to go. And getting a big strikeout right there with the bases loaded. And early getting late for Broken Bow Patsies.
Well, this is where the game stood for a while back a few hours ago. And then it was Reese Casely who put Broken Bow out on top. So a big out for Dean Holine. As Adam Folkard now on the mound, his turn to go to work here in the 5th. Wines works, drop ball just out of the zone for ball 1 to the leadoff hitter. This inning will be Blake Miller reaching on a fielder's choice. Folkard stoically looks down. Now comes set, rocks, deals, swung on and missed on the drop. Runs the count to 1 ball and 1 strike.
Miller, of course, out of the Salt Lake City, Utah area, one of the hotbeds of fastball in the early 2000s. He played with Larry Miller Toyota way back in early 2000.
Turns to bunt, pulls it back, and takes for ball 2, trying to get on base anyway, anyhow. Just get me on base, says Blake Miller. We play in the bottom of the 5th, 1-0 for the River Shark Twins. Folkard winds, works, swung on and missed. Strike 2, 2-2 the count.
Kitchener, the only team in this tournament to score any runs off of this Broken Bow Patsy's pitching staff. 3 shutouts right from the start for the team.
Folkard winds, works, swung on and missed. Strike 3. And Blake Miller takes the walk back to the dugout for the 7th strikeout on the night for Adam Folkard. And 1 down. Ryan Wolf now coming to the plate. Want to say good evening to Steve Mullally's parents, Yvonne and Finton, listening in Freshwater, Newfoundland, on the east coast of Canada.
Keep those cards and letters coming live at ballparkradio.tv. We'll be here till the end.
Adam Folkard pauses, rolls in the dirt for ball 1. And he's really starting to struggle to get that strike zone early in the counts. Then he has to fight back and throw a lot of pitches to the hitters. 1 for 2 on the night for Wolf as Folkard rolls that one inside. Swung on and missed. Strike 1, 1-1 the count. Reached on a single in the 1st. Struck out in the 3rd, brings us here to the 5th. Folkard pauses, now rolls with it, rise ball, swung on and missed, strike 2. 1-2 the count, 1 down here. Adam Folkard and Ryan Wolf do battle. Folkard throws, swung on and missed on an inside drop ball. And Ryan Wolf takes the walk for the 8th time, and the bottom just falling off that pitch.
That'll bring up number 33, left fielder Steve Mullally.
So strikeout number 8 for Folkard. 2 down, and Steve Mullally comes to the plate. Adam rolls, rise ball, swing and a miss, and you can see the frustration starting to set in on Steve Mullally's face. Struggling at the plate and chasing something we normally don't see from the young Freshwater native. Folkard winds, works, rise ball, that one a better swing, but same result with the miss. 0-2 the count. Kyle Smith and Jim Flanagan along with you. Hope you've been enjoying the sights and sounds of this final championship game of the 2009 World Tournament. Folkard rolls, winds, works. That one chopped out to Reese Casely. He's up and over with it for the 4-3 putout. And for the 3rd out of the inning, Kitchener goes down 1-2-3. And we'll head to the top half of the 6th inning. For the Broken Bow Patsies, it'll be Rona Martin and Daniel Milne.
Kyle, this one's shaping up very much like we thought it might. A pitcher's duel, a classic 1-0 game in the championship. Very much a carbon copy of sorts of the first game these two teams played a few hours ago. Kitchener had a 1-0 lead into the 6th inning of that one before the Reese Casely home run made the difference. Dean Holine trying to lock the door on this powerful Broken Bow Patsy's offense. Coming up with a big strikeout with the bases loaded in the last inning. He'll see the heart of the order now with Rona, Martin, and Milne, 3 members of the New Zealand Black Sox, as they face Holine with 6 outs to go. 6 outs between Holine and a 2nd consecutive ISC World Championship here in Moline, Illinois. So Rona hitless thus far in the night, 0 for 2. His first at-bat, a ground out. That was with Martin. His plate appearance against Holine, a strikeout. Back in the fourth. The defense for Kitchener, it is still Ite, Miller, Joy, and Ezekiel around the infield. Patty Shannon behind the plate. The outfield of Mullally, Wolf, and Brad Ezekiel. None of that matters right now. It's a game of catch with Holine and Shannon. First one in for a called strike. Rona looks down to third, but nothing on, I'm sure. Rona up there to try and tie the game. Swings, comes out of his shoes, misses that one. Late on the pitch. Holine still with great velocity into the sixth inning. We got an email from a listener earlier asking about Dino's stamina. Did we think he would make it through the duration? Right now, looking very strong. Holine against Rona. The 0-2 pitch. Inside, did he hit him? I think he did. Dean Holine, his third hit batter, trying to work the hitters in, just getting a little too close on that one. So the tie and run back aboard. Nobody out of the inning. Here comes the captain, Jared Martin.
Well, Dino's been working in, and the last few times he's nicked the New York, or the Broken Bow Patsies, rather.
Jared Martin, one of the top hitters in the ISC World Tournament over his career. Squares the bunt, giving himself up, pulls back. It's taken for a strike. Martin, as we said, nursing an injury, but he's got a number of hits. They have been running for him when he reaches. Right now, it looks like Doc Simmons focused on trying to get Rona down to second base. He squares the bunt, gets it down, fielded by Ezekiel, goes to second, gets the out, and they do not get Martin at first. Martin running on a bad wheel, but managing to get down the line just ahead of the throw. So Ezekiel, good aggressive play from first, 3-6 on the putout at second base. So Rona retired.
And that play right there shows what Blair Ezekiel can do. Great hands out there at first base. Can play anywhere on the infield or outfield. So wisely coming in, turning, firing, and just by a hair, Jared Martin legs that one out. Pinch runner Gareth Cook coming into the ball game.
So Cook coming on to run for Martin. They have been running for him virtually every time he reaches base. Martin with the groin injury. The batter will be Daniel Milne, though. So the runner still at first base. That one almost goes to the screen. Nice grab by Patty Shannon.
Daniel Milne, the better.
Milne with a couple of ground outs to the left side. First time to short, second time over to Ite. Holine against Milne. Up and away. Taken for a ball, 2-0. Cook running pretty well over at first. Gets a word from his coach. Doc Simmons running through some signs down at third. The matchup right here, front and center on your screen. Holine against Daniel Milne. Lifted foul and out of play over on the right side. Holine coming inside again despite the 3 hit batters on inside pitches. It has been the pitch, the location that has worked effectively, and Dino unwilling to give it up this late in the game. So 2 balls and a strike to Daniel Milne. On deck is catcher Stephen Ratu. Gareth Cook, the pinch runner, over at first, looking across the diamond for a sign. A 2-1 pitch. Upstairs, taken for a ball, 3-1. And Holine in danger of giving up another free pass in the inning. The balance you try and strike, pitching carefully, but perhaps too much so. Right down the heart of Main Street, Milne fights it off. Fouled out of play. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Holine, 5 outs away from a second ISC world title in 2 years. We'll reset it again. Full count. Runner at first. Holine set. Strike 3 call right across the letters. Milne didn't think so. It doesn't matter. Out number 2.
Down on strikes for out number 2 with 1 on and 2 out.
And Stephen Ratu will be the last chance or potential last chance in the inning for Broken Bow Patsies. So Brad Rona reaching on a hit by pitch, the 3rd in the game by Holine. But Holine coming back to get a couple of outs. The bunt, the force out at second. Now the strikeout, and it's Ratu. Looks at one that splits the uprights for a called strike. Dean Holine looking for the finish line. Trying to close things out here in the 6th inning and protect that precarious 1-0 lead. Rise ball in on the outside part of the plate. Holine ahead quickly, 0-2. Ratu 0 for 2 on the night, a strikeout and a fly out to center. Not much in the way of offense against Big Dean Holine. 2 out, 0-2. Strike 3 called. And Ratu didn't think so. He's been the catcher back with Paul Byer, but it is strike number 3. Second strikeout in the inning, and the side retired. Broken Bow Patsy stranding another runner. They stranded 3 in the prior frame, 1 in this one. And Adam Folkert will have to go back to work and keep his team right there. They'll have one more chance against Holine in this championship game.
Jim, just want to take an opportunity and thank everyone for all the great emails coming in. Want to say hello in particular to 2 of my good friends from the Hickson, Ontario area, Jeremy and Greg de Belleville. Jeremy, of course, a few years back playing with the Interkip Eagles, and brother Greg and Jeremy now both playing with the Bridgeport Braves at the ISC 2 level, playing tomorrow morning. So want to say thanks for the positive comments, fellas, and good luck tomorrow. As Kitchener up 1-0, and actually Jeremy, a former Kitchener River Shark twin back in the Hallman twin days, working with Mike Pieknik.
Kitchener, of course, the host of the 2006 and 2007 ISC World Tournaments. The River Shark twins would have dearly loved to have won it in front of the hometown faithful. They did not, but ironically the following year, 2008, winning it at Kimberley, and just 3 outs away from repeating that feat despite dropping into the loser's bracket. For those that didn't catch the earlier broadcast, it was Kitchener up 1-0 in the 6th. Casely a 2-run homer that sent Kitchener into the loser's bracket. They came right back, scored a handful of runs against Aspen into the final. And right now, Jody Ite at the plate.
Jody Ite trying to break out here with 2 strikeouts on the night as Folkert Wines works. That one chopped off into the screen. Count goes, no balls and 1 strike.
Adam Folkert with 8 strikeouts to this point in the game. Not quite the pace that he's had in his earlier games in the tournament.
Folkert winding, working, rise ball just misses off the side. 1-1 the count. Jim, want to take an opportunity to say hello to Billy Smith listening in the New York area. Also, a hearty hello to Hall of Famer Tom McAvoy listening back home as he is on the mend from his cancer treatment. Wishing him the best and congratulations on Hall of Fame induction. Hope to see you next year, Mac, in Midland. 1-2 the count. Jody Ite at the plate. Adam Folkert on the mound as he comes set. Winds, works, outside, and away. Ball 2, 2-2 the count. Full card winds, works, swung on and driven down the line, but into the bleacher creatures. Adam Folkard wants the ball that Paul Byer brought out of the basket, so we'll change him up. Count stands 2 balls and 2 strikes at 12:15 on Saturday morning here in Moline, Illinois.
Well, we did make it to midnight, Kyle. No pumpkins in the booth.
Nope, everybody stays with us. Adam Folkard, 2-2 pitch, winds, works, drop ball. Misses. Checked his swing. Count goes 3 balls and 2 strikes. So Jody working hard to gain even here and has done that. Now works in his favor. 3-2 pitch. Folkard winds, works, and Ite draws a 4-ball pass. So for the first time tonight, Jody finds himself on the base paths, and we will have a pinch runner come in for Jody. So we're looking down. Pat Shannon at the plate. Possibly Reno D'Ambrosio. Haven't seen a number yet. And it is Reno D'Ambrosio coming into the game to run for Jody Ite, number 55. Reno has got some speed out at first now. Jody Ite nursing an injury back to health.
So Kitchener continuing to pinch run for Ite when he reaches, much like Jared Martin receiving the same treatment on the other side.
Folkard winds, works, called, strike 1. Shannon turning to bunt. Want to say hello to our good friend Derek Pukash listening in. Of course, our fellow broadcaster here on Ballpark Radio. 0-1 pitch from Folkard. Reno D'Ambrosio turning to bunt, pulls it back for ball 1, 1 ball and 1 strike. We're playing here in the bottom half of the 6th inning. Kitchener River Shark Twins hold a 1-0 lead over top of the Broken Bow Patsies. And Pat Shannon at the plate. Jared Martin, Brad Rona crashing on the play. Swinging away this time. Big, healthy cut. Swung on and missed. Patty Shannon digging back in. 1 ball and 2 strike to count. Adam Folkard on the mound. Comes set. Winds, deals, rise ball, swung on, and cannot hold up. Called. Strike. Bat went through the zone, but quickly snaps back, so Paul Byer right on the money on that one. Strikeout number 9 for Adam Folkard. Blair Ezekiel coming to the plate. One down and a man on first base. Blair Ezekiel comes in, steps in. It was his run back in the 4th inning after he got hit by a pitch that has put us to where we stand. Folkard winds, works, rise ball, big swing and a miss. Folkard with the pitch, rise Chopped out right to Casely. He's going to tag D'Ambrosio, and a little shoving ensues. D'Ambrosio had his arms up as he went in, and Casely took offense. So a little intensity now as Jared Martin will calm things down. Larry Lynch come out to get D'Ambrosio. And Casely trying to plead his case to Roger Shane, and Phil Rogers will walk out.
Larry Ezekiel is safe at first on the fielder's choice.
So 4 unassisted on D'Ambrosio.
Tagged out going to second for out number 2.
Fielder's choice to Ezekiel. Dean Holine at the plate.
Holine was the key to that run scored back in the 4th inning, extending the inning with that base hit. That set the stage for the run to score. And I'm sure Dino would like to help himself out and give himself an insurance run. Something other than that 1-0 lead to protect.
Holine reached back in the 4th to advance Ezekiel to third with the single. And then reaching on the air, Brad Ezekiel cashed his brother Blair from third. Folkart comes, set, winds, works, rise ball, big swing and a miss.
Not much doubt what Dino was trying to do on that one. Dino, a good pitcher, great pitcher, also a great hitter. Is he a pitcher that hits or vice versa? I say both.
Adam Folkart comes, set, delivers, drop balls, swing and a miss. Now snap throw down, and he's out at first. Larry Lynch will have a few words for Ed Otterman, but right on the money. Gets Ezekiel out. Great snap throw from Stephen Ratu to retire the side. 2-3, and a great tag by Jared Martin. And that will do it for the inning. So we head to the bottom half of the 6th inning.
In the bottom of the 6th, there were no runs on no hits, no errors, and no one left.
Jody Ait coming back into the ball game. So you can re-enter Jody as we head to the top half of the 7th. It'll be DeGroat, Tanner, and Shaw.
Well, Kyle, from Holine's standpoint, looking at the lineup card, he has gotten through the heart of the order. He's gotten through Casely, Rona, Martin, and Milne in the 5th and 6th innings, now facing the 7, 8, 9. But standing at the plate, DeGroat, in spite of not having a big tournament in 2009, he is among those capable of tying the game with one swing. So Holine will have to pitch him carefully. In doing so, trying to keep the ball in, he has hit 3 batters, so it'll be a big matchup here with Holine and DeGroat. Holine from Team Canada, DeGroat from the USA team.
Want to say hello to Jeffrey Dressler listening in, and he wants to wish Frank DeGroat a big good luck, and Roger a big good luck, hoping that they can make a comeback here in the 7th. So Dean Holine comes out here for the 7th inning. It'll be 7, 8, 9, bottom third of the order. Frankie DeGroat, Michael Tanner, Kerry Shaw, all that stands in the way of a repeat for the Kitchener River Shark Twins, and everything for the Broken Bow Patsies. Dean Holine comes, set, winds, works, drop ball, just misses. The crowd's starting to get in it. You can hear them coming through the window.
DeGroat having himself a good at-bat his last time up, got one out over the plate, roped it to left field. We'll see how Holine works him here.
Dino comes, set, winds, works, rise ball, big swing and a miss from the Team USA catcher, Frank DeGroat. DeGroat, a strikeout and a single. ball just misses. Dean Holine comes to the glove. 1-2 pitch. Here it comes. Rise ball. Swung on and missed. For the first out of the inning. 1 down, 2 to go for the River Shark Twins.
Now batting for Broken Bow, number 20.
Strikeout number 10
Michael Tanner.
for Dean Holine. Coming in relief for Todd Martin back in the second inning. Martin worked the first. Holine the next 5. Sets, fires, drop ball just down and away for ball 1. Michael Tanner at the plate, a strikeout and a hit by pitch. Stranded out at second back in the 5th inning. Dean Holine winding, working, drop ball. That one gets fouled down third. Evens the count up at 1 ball and 1 strike, and Dean Holine really hasn't lost any velocity like maybe we thought he would. That adrenaline is pumping through his veins.
I'm still seeing that email asking would he have the stamina to get through this part of the game. Thus far he has, trying to close things out against Broken Bow Patsies and take his team to their 2nd consecutive ISC world title here in 2009.
Dean Holine rubbing the ball down as he comes back to the pitcher's plate. 2 feet on the rubber. Sets, fires, swung on, fouled out of play. Count goes 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Remarkable resiliency being shown by Kitchener, overcoming the disappointment of the loss to Broken Bow Patsies in the winner's bracket final, finding a way to beat Aspen. Now perhaps closing in on their 2nd consecutive ISC world title.
1 ball, 2 strikes the count. Holine sets, fires, rise ball. Up and out of the zone goes ball 2. Glad you've joined us all this week. It's been our pleasure to bring you the 2009 ISC World Tournament from Moline, Illinois. Next year, we head to Midland. Holine sets, deals, swung on and missed. Strike 3. The 2nd out of the inning. Dean Holine, strikeout number 11.
Now batting number 40, shortstop.
Jody Ite, a few words for Holine. Changes the balls up from home plate umpire Paul Byer. Kerry Shaw, the only man between Holine and victory after tasting defeat last year from his current team, the River Shark Twins. Everybody on their feet over on the Patsies bench. The same. Swung on and missed. Strike 1. It's Mullally, Wolf, and Brad Ezekiel in right field. Jody Ite at third. Blake Miller at short. Daryl Joy at second. Blair Ezekiel at first. Sets, deals, swung on and fouled into the screen. Caught by the catcher, Pat Shannon. Dean Holine, the man on the mound. 11 strikeouts tonight in relief of Todd Martin. You can cut the tension with a knife. Holine to the glove. Sets, deals, lays off for ball 1. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Paul Byer, the plate man. Ed Otterman at first. Roger Shane at third. Mike Clark and Gary Schmidt, the umpires, in this final game. Game number 58. 1-0 Kitchener. 1 ball, 2 strikes. The pitch. Swung on and missed. Strike 3, and the Kitchener River Shark Twins repeat as the 2009 ISC World Tournament champions. Dean Holline, 13 strikeouts. And look at the celebration at center stage. A night to remember after taking a hard-fought loss in the winner-winner game. Kitchener, 2-1 loss, comes back, defeats Aspen, defeats Broken Bow Patsies, and they repeat as the 2009 ISC World Tournament Champions, back-to-back. The last team to do that, County Materials.
Kyle, they came into the tournament with the pre-tournament rankings. They were the number one team all year long. They were the defending champions, the team with the bullseye on their back. Many looked at the gold medal pitchers on the Broken Bow Patsies team and said that they would knock off Kitchener. In fact, they did in the winner's bracket final, but Kitchener finding a way to overcome that disappointment. They win. They beat Aspen and Dean Holline. I think an outstanding, amazing performance in relief of Todd Martin. Didn't even start the game and still notching 13 strikeouts. Kitchener River Shark Twins, the 2009 ISC World Champions here at the Quad Cities at the Green Valley Sports Complex in Moline, Illinois.
You can see Dean Holline and Todd Martin embracing at the pitcher's mound. Ironically, they combine tonight to shut down the Broken Bow Patsies. A year after Holline tastes defeat, he tastes the champagne. Final score of the ball game: Kitchener River Shark Twins 1, Broken Bow Patsies no score.
We let the picture tell the story right now. The Kitchener River Shark Twins celebrating over on the first base side, a very happy bunch.
Of course, coming up next, the announcements of the All-World Tournament team, most valuable player, most valuable pitcher, and that will be conducted by the executive director. Oh, I stand corrected. That will be conducted by the on-field team.
While they set up for the awards ceremony, let me just take a quick moment and point our viewers to a link on the ballparkradio.tv website at the top. It's a link for the Ken Vierling fundraiser coming up later in the month. Click the link, it tells the whole story. We want to encourage our viewers and listeners to read the material at the link, and if they can help the Fastpitch community, one of the close-knit groups that always seem to find a way to come through when people need help. Ken Vierling, last year's ISC2 umpire-in-chief, injured, and a fundraiser being put on by umpire friends and other members of the Fastball family. That link you'll find right at the top of the ballparkradio.tv website. Preparations underway for the awards that will follow this championship game just concluded. Kitchener defending their championship from last year. They will be the recipient in 2009 of the Carol Forbes Memorial Trophy. Lynn Hunt, Amy Staller, two of the members of the Quad Cities Visitor and Convention Bureau staff that's been out here all week long on hand helping to unpack the trophies and assist the ISC staff that's been on hand here this week. This tournament, of course, headed up by the executive director, Ken Hackmeister, and all of the staff and members of the ISC family. camera you see on camera, Adam Folker, disappointed no doubt, but an unbelievable performance that he turned in during this World Tournament, striking out all 13 hitters he faced in his first game, struck out 18 in yet another, and a great performance by him today. Kitchener just coming away 1 run better to defend their title. We'll stay on the air so that you can follow along with the awards presentations and individual awards from wherever you may be. We are still on the air online. We'll still receive your emails, so drop us a line. Let us know how you enjoyed the telecast. Let us know how you enjoyed the week of broadcasts. If you didn't get enough, we'll be back on the air tomorrow for the ISC 2 Tournament of Champions championship game. Never enough fastball, Kyle.
No, absolutely not. And the opportunity to go over there tomorrow and witness another champion get crowned for 2009. Games start at 9 a.m. local. Jim Flanagan and myself will be on hand. And we will bring you all the action tomorrow off of Diamond number 1 and a few Channel 2 games. We are truly excited to bring you this. It's been our pleasure in our maiden voyage into the ISC World Tournament. We hope you enjoyed it. We're going to stick around here and make sure you hear who the awards will go to. But what a ball game. 1-0. Dean Holine coming in relief. Shuts the door. 12 strikeouts on the night.
I think that the story that people, when they look back at 2009, the championship game, it'll start and end with Dean Holine and 13 stories or 13 strikeouts in between. He was the difference in that ball game. Nary a run, but Holine down the stretch, finding a way to reach back, get his team back to that championship trophy.
They weren't going to give up. After they lost that tough loss, took it on the chin. It was full steam ahead. Came out swinging. Pat Shannon led the attack against Aspen, a 3-run home run. In a 7-1 victory, then coming in here. It sat 0-0 through the first 4. Blair Ezekiel gets hit by a pitch. Dean Holine comes in, puts him to third. And ironically, brother Brad Ezekiel scores the run as he reaches base and Blair coming across. And that's all that Dean would need as he shut the door. And that was it.
Credit to Todd Martin, pitcher who sat on the bench all week long with that groin injury. And it was his relief performance, and more so in the game against Aspen. He came out and threw 5 very strong innings. And those innings enabled Dean Holine to stay fresh. And so when Dino came in the final game, 5 or 6 innings that he didn't have to throw thanks to Todd Martin, who managed to overcome that injury at least for a game or a bit more. Want to say hello to Ronnie Rupp out in Southern California. Ron, got your email. Glad you enjoyed the telecasts and all the broadcasts this week. Your friend Dave Blackburn working some magic on the controls. Kyle, I think if the fans get a chance to go back and look at some of the archives, there's a piece of footage that caught my eye. It was the end of the first matchup when Kitchener had been defeated by Broken Bow Patsies. And if you look at the faces of some of the Kitchener players, a look as if to say, we're not done yet. We're not going to fold.
Yeah, they really just kind of bucked up and were ready to go, and they came back with a vengeance, not dying, not giving up, and came out swinging in that next game.
The ceremony tonight begins with the award for the best dressed team. That award was made at opening ceremonies last weekend, and it was won by the Owen Sound Selects of Owen Sound, Ontario.
The voice you hear, Executive Director of the ISC, Ken Hackmeister, giving out the award for the Best Dressed Club, the Owen Sound Selects.
The Sportsmanship Award goes to Alba Incorporated.
Alba with a fine tournament in their own right, playing into the wee hours of the morning before being eliminated last night by the Midwest Stampede.
The fourth place team in the 2009 ISC World Tournament is Midwest Stampede, Bondurant, Iowa.
Fourth place team award being given to the Midwest Stampede, Dennis Fry and his group. An outstanding tournament. Sean Witten, of course, one of the standouts for that club, pitching his team into the final day. Eliminated earlier today, falling to Aspen, but coming away with the fourth place award.
Third place team, Aspen Interiors, Saskatoon, Saskatchewan.
Aspen Interiors of Saskatoon, Saskatchewan being awarded the third place trophy.
Jason Karalik coming out to accept that award from Todd McCabe.
Aspen, the runner-up last year, finishing third this year. Falling, ironically, again to Kitchener, who beat them in the championship game last year. But certainly an outstanding tournament for pitchers Lucas Mata, Trevor Ethier, Rick Smith, and all of their teammates on the Aspen Interior squad.
The runner-up team, Broken Bow Patsies, Broken Bow, Nebraska.
Runner-up trophy being awarded to Broken Bow Patsies. You saw them in this championship game, suffering their first loss in the tournament. Doc Simmons and Phil Rogers will come on out to accept the runner-up trophy. You're watching the award ceremony post-championship game from Moline, Illinois. Ken Heckmeister, Executive Director of the ISC, on the microphone, out on the field. Doc Simmons and Phil Rogers accepting that runner-up trophy. Individual runner-up awards being given to the Broken Bow Patsies team. Fred Turkelson, the first to come out. Reese Casely with a big home run in the winner's bracket final. Two-run homer that overcame a 1-0 deficit at that time. Third baseman Brad Rona. Jared Martin. Daniel Milne. Milne with a big home run against Vancouver that set things in motion. Stephen Ratu, the catcher for Broken Bow Patsies. Frank DeGroat, designated player. Executive producer Dave Blackburn out there on the field now helping with the awards. Michael Tanner coming out to receive his award. Kerry Shaw, native of Missouri. Pitcher Adam Folkert. We've talked about him all week long.
And you'd have to think that he will all than likely get another award, I'm sure, after his magnificent performance this week here at the ISC Worlds.
Tony Valario.
Tony Valario getting the runner-up award. Gareth Cook being announced. You're listening to the post-game ceremonies, the awards, presentations. Jeff Hook getting his award from Commissioner Robert Gray Andrew Kirkpatrick,
Chris
big lefty.
Phil Rogers,
Chris Anderson getting his award. Manager Phil Rogers coming out to accept his award.
Ron Doc Simmons,
And Doc Simmons coming out to get his award.
and now the Carol Forbes Memorial Trophy for our 2009 ISC World Champions, repeat champions, the Kitchener River Shark Twins.
Jim Holman and Bob Nidek come out arm in arm to accept the Carol Forbes Memorial Trophy. The second year in a row that these two individuals will hoist the championship trophy. So now the individual awards.
The individual championship awards to the players of the Kitchener River Shark Twins. Ryan Wolf,
Ryan Wolf coming out to get his award.
Steve Mullally,
Steve Mullally coming in halfway through the week and making some great defensive plays for Kitchener. Jody Eit coming out of the pile.
Pat Shannon,
I'm sure this never gets old for Jody. On a number of winning championship teams. Always a new feeling. Pat Shannon comes out. And Blair Ezekiel.
Dean Holine,
Dean Holine coming out, pitching a masterful performance tonight for the River Shark Twins. 12 strikeouts for Dean. Brad Ezekiel coming out to get his championship trophy. Daryl Joy coming over from Aspen, again one of the two individuals that tasted defeat last year, now tasting the sweet taste of champagne. Blake Miller comes out. Tremendous shortstop this week defensively.
Dan Loney,
Got on base in critical times. Dan Loney comes out to get his trophy.
Todd Martin,
Todd Martin started, worked the first Broken Bow Patsy's game, nursing an injury all week, came out, threw as hard as he could for as long as he could. Just the groin wouldn't take it, had to be replaced by Dean Holine, so bittersweet for Todd, I'm sure. Reno D'Ambrosio comes out. Evan Boyd as well. Derek Shackleton, a longtime member of the Kitchener Waterloo River Shark Twins, Hallman Twins back in the day. Craig Crawford making the transition over to Kitchener from Midland. Dave Bailey, longtime member of the Twins organization. Donnie Scott pitched a whale of a game against the Broken Bow Patsies. The first go-round. Grant Patterson also coming over from Midland, Michigan.
Larry Lynch.
Coach, Hall of Famer Larry Hawk Lynch to get his award from Dave Blackburn. Another Hall of Famer, Denny Bruckert, comes out and gets his championship trophy.
Bob Neidick.
One of the sponsors, Bob Neidick, to receive his trophy. Jim Hallman coming out to receive his trophy as well.
Gary.
Just a slight pause prior to moving on to more individual awards. Hope you've thoroughly enjoyed this coverage of the ISC World Tournament, coming to you live from Moline, Illinois. It's been our pleasure to bring it right to you in your home.
We apologize for this slight delay. We have a technical glitch here in the press box.
Jason Hill,
If you'll bear with us a moment, we'll be right back.
Ken. Jason Hill, 7 for 13, 538. Todd Budke.
Wait. Jason Hill, what?
Jason Hill and Todd Budke, 7 for 13.
Todd, all right, Jason Hill, what team?
Madison, Wisconsin.
The sights and sounds.
And what?
513.
No, 538 is what they get. And Todd Budke from Salinas, California, the California Athletics.
RBI?
I do not know that. But I will shortly.
Again, we apologize for the delay. We'll be back with you shortly with the balance of the awards.
3 guys. All have 6 RBIs. Dean Holine.
Okay?
Blair Ezekiel. Both from Kitchener.
Okay.
And Eduardo Leonardo from the Dominican Republic, Santo Domingo, Puerto Rico.
Just getting back ready to bring
Resume the award ceremony.
the award ceremony.
Apologize for that delay. The next award is the RBI leader.
The RBI leader.
We have 3 players.
3 players
Tied with 6.
tied with 6 RBIs.
The players, Dean Holine.
Dean Holine
Shark Twins.
from the River Shark Twins.
Blair Ezekiel.
Blair Ezekiel
Twins.
from the Kitchener River Shark Twins.
And Eduardo Leonardo from the Dominican Republic.
And Eduardo Leonardo from the Dominican Republic.
3 tied with 6
the 3 men tied for being the RBI leader this week with 6 RBIs.
The next award is for the tournament's leading hitter. We have a tie with 2 players. Jason Hill, the Farm Tavern, and Todd Budke, California A's. Each had a .538 batting average.
Todd Budke and Jason Hill, the winners of the leading hitters. Both hit .538 this week. There's Todd Budke coming out to the diamond, of course playing with the California Athletics this week, the jump-up team from the ISC 2. Another slight pause before we start to write for the all-world teams. Again, the voice you will hear will be Ken Hackmeister's.
The next award is the ISC second team all-world. Designated hitter, Darren Box, Aspen and
Designated hitter award in the second team all-world goes to Darren Box from the Saskatchewan Aspen Interiors.
second team outfield,
Second team outfield,
Colin Abbott, the Farm Tavern.
Colin Abbott making another appearance as he will gain an outfield spot. Of course, Colin with the farm.
Second team outfielder, Matt Darling, Alba Incorporated.
Matt Darling picking up an outfield nod from Elkhart, Iowa, Alba Incorporated.
Second team outfielder, Daniel Milne.
Daniel Milne,
Patsy.
Broken Bow Patsies, picks up an outfield nomination. Going through the all-world first team, second team right now.
Second team outfield, Mick Tanner, Broken Bow Patsy.
Mick Tanner of the Broken Bow, Nebraska Broken Bow Patsies picking up an outfield nod.
Second team all-world infield, Nathan Nukunuku, Midwest Stampede.
Now moving to the infield, Midwest Stampede, Nathan Nukunuku from Bondurant, Iowa, picking up infield all-world.
Second team infield, Brennan
Pokoyaway.
Saskatoon Diamondbacks.
Brennan Pokoyaway with an infield nod from Saskatoon Diamondbacks.
Second team infield, Todd Schultz.
Todd Schultz picks up infield award, second team nod from Midland Explorers.
Second team infield, Tyson Byrne.
Tyson Byrne of the Pueblo, Colorado Bandits. Brad Rona picks up one from the Broken Bow, Nebraska. Broken Bow Patsies. The infield.
Second team catchers. Adam Lalonde, Midland Explorers.
Moving to the catchers, it's Adam Lalonde picking up a all-world second team nod from the Midland Explorers.
Second team catcher, Jim Clemenhaga.
Jim Clemenhaga from the Saskatoon Diamondbacks picks up a nod.
Second team pitchers, Brian Urquhart, Midland Explorers.
Brian Urquhart picking up a pitcher nomination to the second team All-World. Of course, Brian this year in with Midland.
Pitcher, Rob O'Brien.
Robbie O'Brien from Santo Domingo, Puerto Rico, Dominican Republic.
Second team pitcher.
And the final second team pitcher, Sean Witten,
Stampede.
picks up an award from the Midwest Stampede. Sean, a workhorse this week for the Midwest. Here comes Sean on to the diamond. Dave Blackburn to present that award. Moving into the first team All-World.
First team ISC All-World. Designated hitter, Dean Holine, Kitchener River Shark Twins.
Designated hitter Dean Holine of the Kitchener, Ontario River Shark Twins. You're listening to a presentation of the awards ceremony for the 2009 ISC World Tournament. Eduardo Leonardo from Santo Domingo, Puerto Rico, picks up a outfield award for the first team.
First team outfield, Ryan Wolf, Kitchener River Shark Twins.
First team All-World Ryan Wolf in the outfield from the Kitchener River Shark Twins.
First team outfield, Thomas Makia,
Thomas Machia
Stampede.
picks up a first team All-Star Award. All-World. Thomas, of course, with the Midwest Stampede.
First team outfield, Jason Hill, the Farm Tavern.
Jason Hill picking up an outfield award for the Farm Tavern of Madison, Wisconsin. Thomas coming out to the awards table. Moving to the infield now.
First team All-World infield, Blair Ezekiel.
Blair Ezekiel from Kitchener, Ontario River Shark Twins picks up an award for an all-world first team infield.
First team infield, Todd Budke, California A's.
Todd Budke from Salinas, California, California A's, with an all-world nomination for the infield.
First team infield, Reese Casely, Broken Bow Patsies.
Reese Casely picks up a first team all-world nomination for the Broken Bow Patsies.
First team infield, Jody Ike.
Jody Ite from the Kitchener River Shark Twins picks up his all-world nomination trophy.
First team infield, Nick Shale.
Nick Shales of the Saskatoon, Saskatchewan Aspen Interiors, the final infielder on the all-world ballot. Here comes Nicky Shales A good year for young Nick Shales, an ISF gold medal and now an all-world nomination at the ISCs.
Catchers, Sean
Sean O'Brien,
Aspen Interiors,
first-team all-world catcher from Saskatoon, Saskatchewan. Aspen Interiors. You're listening to the coverage of the award ceremony for the 2009 ISC World Tournament. The voice you will hear, Ken Hackmeister, and myself, Kyle Smith.
First team All-World catcher Pat Shannon.
First team all-world catcher Pat Shannon gets an all-world nomination. Patty had to hide the beverage.
Team All-World pitchers
First team all-world pitchers.
Jeremy Manley,
Jeremy Manley
Pueblo Bandits.
had 84 strikeouts on the week, a 4-2 record for the Pueblo Bandits from Colorado.
First team All-World pitcher Andrew Kirkpatrick, Broken Bow Patsy.
Andrew Kirkpatrick from Broken Bow Patsies of Broken Bow, Nebraska, picks up an all-world. Jeremy Manley walking out onto the diamond to receive his award from Chris Santos.
First team All-World pitcher Adam Folkert, Broken Bow Patsies.
Andrew Kirkpatrick from Broken Bow receiving his, and of course Adam Folkard receiving an all-world ballot nomination in the pitcher category. Three more awards to hand out.
Kevin Herlihy
The Kevin Herlihy Memorial Newcomer of the Year Award,
goes to Andrew Black,
and that will go to Andrew Blackshaw, the Bar of Appleton from Appleton, Wisconsin. Young Andrew, 18 years young, from Australia. Our first look we had at Moncton and improved and impressed here in Moline.
the Leroy Zimmerman,
The Leroy Zimmerman Most Outstanding Pitcher Award.
Adam Folkert, Broken Bow Patsies.
Adam Folkard picking that award up from the Broken Bow Patsies of Broken Bow, Nebraska, after sailing through the tournament until running into a hard-hitting Kitchener River Shark Twins team in the final. But Folkard has nothing to be ashamed of after the performance that
Award of the evening,
he put on.
I'd like to invite onto the field from Midland, Michigan, Don Walters. And we'd like to present to Midland our 2010 host, the International Softball Congress flag. Will be presented
The International Softball Congress flag being handed over to the 2010 host committee, to the
Lynn Hunt,
Midland Explorers crew,
Quad City Convention,
as in 2010
presenting it to Don
we head north
Midland Explorers.
to Midland. On hand hosts
And now the final
Amy
award
and Lynn to hand that flag off.
Goyette
The Cleo Goyette Most Valuable Player Award,
goes to Dean
and
Holline,
that goes to Dean Holine
Twins.
from the Kitchener, Ontario River Shark Twins. Holine coming in relief, shutting the door, shutting the gate. Dino, a well-deserved award, leading the River Shark Twins
Ladies and gentlemen,
to a second straight
award ceremony.
ISC World Tournament Championship.
Players, the teams, the fans,
It's been our pleasure to bring you this
for a memorable 2009
tournament.
ISC
Since you weren't able to make the trip, we brought the trip to you.
World home. And we look
It's been
forward
our
to
pleasure.
seeing everyone next year. Midland, Michigan,
We started with 24 teams 1 week ago and slowly made our way towards the promised land. Mother Nature tried her best to foil the attempts to declare a 2009 champion, but the ISC and the grounds crew here at the Green Valley Complex endured and persevered. finally making it to Championship Friday. 4 games. Mother Nature, nothing to show other than it wasn't good enough. The ball continued, and it's at the end, the dust is settled. The Kitchener River Shark Twins repeat as the 2009 ISC World Tournament champions. For the gang here at ballparkradio.tv, executive producer David Blackburn, his assistant Roseanne Allen, Jim, Jerry, and Mike Betts, the whole staff here. My colleague in the booth, Jim Flanagan, Blair Setford, Lance Wynn, Bill Hillhouse, Derek Pukash, Kyle Bean, and many, many more, John Thompson. We say so long from Moline, Illinois. We will see you in 2010.